The Edtech firm Byju's may pay its employees in the month of April this week. Last month, founder CEO Byju Raveendran had secured a private debt of about 30 crore rupees to pay March salaries of employees. There has been a delay in paying April salaries as well. While Byju say that the delay was caused by the funds raised through a recent rights issue have been logged in a separate account due to ongoing dispute with investors. At present, Byju's has about 15,000 employees. The total salary liability of all these employees is around 40 to 50 crore rupees. Byju's has also introduced a new policy linking sales staff salaries to the revenue they generate every week, perhaps getting at every possible measure to ensure that it can pay its employees, about 15,000 of whom are still with Byju's. At one point, about 60,000, that number has come down drastically, but Byju's finding it difficult to shell out even that 40 to 50 crore rupees at the moment.
I know, and I think 40 to 50 crore rupees obviously is a fairly large sum to cough up month on month. So, I mean, you know, we've known and we've discussed Byju issues and Byju Raveendran's own issues way too long. You know, at the end of the day, you as an organization are ethically, morally, as well as legally liable to pay employees who continue to work with you. And month after month, we are seeing salary delays coming in, and the company is trying all creative ways from, you know, mortgaging the founder's own houses in Bangalore to raise capital to now incurring another personal debt to pay salaries, etc. I mean, all this shows that Byju's does not have money in the bank. Its cash flows are under big questions. Its own audited reports are yet to be released, and from what has been released, the numbers are not looking good. So overall, you know, I think Byju's is in a mess, and it's about time that some action is taken, because it seems that the founder is unable to, and who's now also come back as CEO, group CEO, he's unable to actually contain the mess that has been created. Now, look at the sales team, for example, in Byju's. Now, sales forces, by virtue of being market driven, have targets and have a big component being a variable, you know, chunk of the salary, which is directly correlated as a percentage of how much sales you're doing. Now, Byju seems to have now, in what I'm understanding from the reports, done away with the fixed salary for sales people altogether, and is saying that you take a commission as high as 50% of your sales, and that is going to be paid to you weekly. So at one level, ensuring that the sales team gets an immediate 50% cut from whatever sales they're doing. If they're able to clock sales of 1 lakh a week, they straight away at the end of the week get 50,000 rupees as salary. But on weeks that they're unable to close a sales deal, they don't get a salary. So, you know, I'm not sure if this is in compliance with the labor laws that exist in India. And how can you as a founder decide to do away with the compensation structure which includes a fixed salary altogether? So, I mean, if it's a bad week, bad month for a sales employee.
It's been a bad year for Byju's.
It's been a bad many years for Byju's, now definitely 2 years and counting. But for salespeople, a bad day, a bad week could result in not taking any money home. I mean, is that how organizations are expected to function?
You know, correct me if I'm wrong, Karthik, you've been following the Byju's story for a while, but in my own assessment, I believe the need for drastic changes at Byju's at the moment, with the ongoing legal battles, the insolvency pleas, the inability to pay salaries, the letting go of people at the drop of a hat. It is about time that Byju Raveendran now comes out and open and finally confess to the fact that he's not been able to take the company to where it is or tide over existential crisis.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll be expecting too much from Byju Raveendran to come out and admit failure. I mean, you know, he's a proud man, he's a founder, he was once running India's largest, you know, startup valued at $22 billion, etc. And doesn't want to give up. I think founders are emotionally, you know, so well entrenched in a company that it's difficult for them to take a top angle 35,000 view and admit to failures. I think that job at some level now rests with NCLT to take immediate action, because there's so many lawsuits in NCLT, or actually even the Ministry of, you know, Corporate Affairs, MCA, to step in and say that, okay, we have seen enough of this nonsense and it's time for us to appoint somebody to clean up this mess.
All right, and perhaps NCLT will be able to get Byju Raveendran to get over the egotistical issues and admit to failures at this point in time. We don't know when that's going to happen.